Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Shane from Shane Sports Cards. I am so excited to come here and do our first episode with you guys. This is kind of truly the first episode. The first video that we posted, we talked about kind of how we were going to bring real talk to the card community, to the everyday collector, and explain the processes of going through things. So I'm super excited to go through this first episode with you guys and talk about something that hands down has been the number one asked question that I get, whether it's messages through Facebook, messages through eBay, people just texting out to reach out, people calling me, or people just walking up to the show. And that question is, Shane, how much are my cards worth? Super easy to find that answer out for you, and I feel bad for telling you guys, because then you guys will stop messaging me. So keep messaging me, okay? Keep asking those questions, because you guys, I appreciate you reaching out. It lets me know I'm doing something of value and kind of adding to the sports card community. So I'm going to teach you how to find the value of your sports cards or your any kind of collectibles, whether it's comic books, TCG, any kind of collectible. You can use the same method that I'm going to show you today. Super easy. It's going to be a shorter video. Keep it nice, short, and sweet for you guys. A couple things that I want to tackle first, though, before we jump into how to do it, is kind of a backbone of the sports card or collectibles community. And that is something that you got to understand. All the prices are very fluid. So when you have a quarterback that has a super hot year, and they take their team to the playoffs or make a deep playoff run or even make the Super Bowl, that card value is going to go up significantly for that player. If they have a bad year or a down year or they get injured, that card value is going to come back down. That's kind of should be a no-brainer for you, but that really does fluctuate the card prices. So a card that you have right now that's worth $25 might not be worth $5. Have that quarterback or that player have a really bad year or get cut or do an Antonio Brown and just go off the rails. That card value is going to plummet. On the flip switch of that, rookie cards can really have a really high ceiling at first. They go up, 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 but then they get into the season and things go on, and that value could drop really fast based on their production. So it's kind of it can be all over the place. So I just want to put that out there for you now, so you know that you do have to stay up on your pricing for some of these cards. Some of our older cards, you know, from when I was started getting cards and started collecting in the 90s, we call that the junk wax era. Okay, so with that is the production was so high. A lot of cards from that era have like basically little to no value. And I'm sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of times those cards that we collected in the 80s, late 80s, and the 90s really don't have a value. However, there are some unicorns out there. There are some special cards, but you really have to kind of look at those cards individually to see if they have the markers of those special condition cards. And I'm talking kind of about like Desert Shield cards. There's a lot of talk of error cards. Everybody thinks they have an error card from the 90s. The fact is, those cards were so overproduced and rushed through the printing process that a ton of them do have errors. And those errors really, since they happen so often, don't have a ton of value most of the time. If it's missing, you know, the dot in the back of the card, that's not an error that's going to bump your value up to have a $100,000 card or anything crazy. So as we go through this and I show you how to look up those cards, keep those things in mind. Really, what kind of card you have or what variation of it plays a huge part in how much that card is really worth. So let's jump into it. Let's do this. How do we find the value of our cards? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you once again, but I think it's important that you know you're going to probably have to put a little bit of time into this. If you have a whole binder of 90s cards or 2,000 cards that you're trying to look up the value for, it's going to be a bit of a process where you're going to have to go through and price out every single card. Now, don't worry, we're going to make it a little easier on you. As you go and you start learning some of the strategies and pricing of some of these things, you're going to start to see a trend of what kind of cards are more valuable, what kind of parallels and inserts, or what kind of little things on cards that make them more valuable. That'll cut a lot of time out. So as you're going through and you're taking pictures of your cards, it's important for you to pay attention to what you're doing. Look at comps for other things. So me personally, I use eBay. I'm a kind of swear by eBay guy. I sell on eBay. I use eBay for a ton of stuff. So for me, eBay is just the easiest to use. Some of your other apps, you have Clicks, you have Card Ladder, you have 360, you can use the PSA website to price out slabs. You can use Beckett. You can use Google search to find values of cards. You can use anything. They're all out there. The reason why, though, I choose eBay is I find it to be the most live and reliable source that I can use. So some of those other apps or websites claim to use eBay sale prices, which is great, but it's not actually live all the time. So sometimes when a card sells on eBay on Monday, that app might not update that selling for hours or days depending on what app you're using. So to get the most live and most up-to-date pricing of cards, I'm going to use eBay because that's all my information right there. Another reason I use eBay is I really like their search feature. Looking at, and I've used other platforms, looking at their camera features on other platforms, it doesn't seem like it's always accurate, especially when you get into like 90s, 2000s sports cards. It is all of the different variations play a huge role, and you're really gonna have to sift through to find out, is this Tiffany, is this not, is this parallel, is this not this parallel, does it have a shinier glossy side, does it not? With the eBay camera, I feel like it's a little bit better on narrowing down. Also, eBay has hands down the most listings, so you're going to get a better variety to pull from. So I can see card values that people are trying to sell from for a wide range. And it's not just going to be like 10 or 20. It's going to be like a lot. So as we jump into it, I'm going to walk you through how to use the app. We're going to go and look at eBay. But the features and the things that we're going to do with it are basically going to be the same that you can really use on any other platform. But for me, I suggest that. So let's jump into it. Let's do this. Pull up your phones. We're going to look at this side by side here, okay? Here's the app. All right, so let's do it. We got our phone pulled up here. I'm going to go to my eBay app down here. When I click my eBay app open, it pops open with my app. Again, free, super easy to use. I highly recommend it. Again, I sell a lot on eBay, so yeah, I'm maybe biased on that. What I want to do though is we're going to search for a card value. So I could type into the bar what I'm looking for. So for me, I was hunting for a Riley Leonard honeycomb. I would type that in there and bam, there's my Riley Leonard honeycombs, okay? So that's all my listing for what I was looking for. If I go back, and the easiest way to find your card values, the fastest way is to use your camera icon, okay? So when we do our camera, it's going to have us take a picture. So I'm going to just grab a card here out of my stack, and we got a Marvin Harrison Topps 2005. There we go. That's what it is. So now when I'm looking at this, this is all the pricing for cards that are listed on eBay of this card. It's super accurate when you're looking for what's for sale. Okay, so we have $1.79. It got marked down from $1.99. We have $2. One thing we want to pay attention to is our delivery cost, because that's going to add into there. So that could change the value of what that card is. So 99 cents. There we go. That's a perfect example. That's a 99-cent price point, but $2.99 for shipping. So that's going to make that card $3.98, which is way higher than those other ones. But we want to know what this card has sold for. What's its value? So I click up here on sold items, and now it's going to bring me what has sold. So looking at this screen, this is not our card. That's not our card. That's not our card. We got to keep scrolling. Not our card. Here we go. Finally, right here, $1.99. So this card is listed for $1.99 or sold for $1.99. That is with free delivery. So again, it kind of does match up for what we were looking at before. We had $1.79, $2 free shipping. This matches up to those price points. So with that, we can kind of say this value of this card is probably around $2 if I'm trying to sell it on eBay. For me, there's not going to be not a lot of people hunting or looking for this card, so it's probably going to go to my value box. And again, that's also why you can see all these other listings. When I clicked sold, it took a ton of scrolling to find what we were looking for. That's because not a lot of people are out there buying Marvin Harrison 2005 Topps cards, okay? So let's look at a card that people are looking for more recently. So if I go to my camera feature, let's pull out our Drake May here. Our Drake May Pulsar from Topps Chrome. Super popular right now. The Topps Chrome market has changed. So when it first came out, it was expensive. Like, cards were through the roof. It was ridiculous. And you can kind of see those price points match up. $19.95, $19.99. We got $10.99, $9.99, and then our shipping costs. But I want to see what our sold items are. So when I click on sold items, one thing I do want to point out is with the update that eBay rolled out a month ago or so, you're not able to filter by days right now. So you kind of got to pay attention to what your days list out. So April 23rd, this sold for $12.50. Okay. It had bids, so that means it was an auction. It also had a $5.72 shipping. So that $12.50 card really is an $18, $19 card. Okay. So we kind of pay attention to those things as well. We want to see the most recent sales. So if I scroll, we have one here for May 4th, $5, $1.32 shipping. We have another one for May 9th, $5.50 shipping. And then we have one for the 3rd of May for $18. So kind of my high point then would be $19.99, what we've seen listed as. My low point would be this $5 one here. So I would need to be between $5 and $18. Okay. With the market and where we're at right now, it's off season. There's not much going on in football. This card is probably going to be closer to the lower end. Now, if this card goes into the season and Drake May starts out with a 3-game banger and is just knocking it out of the park, this card's going to go up in value. So it kind of pays to know what's going on in the market, what's going on in the world, and do I want to sell now or do I want to hold now? Obviously, Drake May has been really hot for a while now, so it's kind of up to you. Me personally, I would sell it, but I'd be somewhere in the midpoint. Okay, I'm not probably going to go to the low end of this because I know he's a sought after card. Now, let's go in and let's look at doing the same thing with an older card. So let me find an older card on my desk here. And there we go. We'll pull out this Nolan Ryan. Okay. Another one of my PC guys, Nolan Ryan. This one is a 92 Leaf from the Coca-Cola set. So you have listings, and I love this about 80s and 90s cards. Okay. So when you pull it up like this, and you're looking up 80s and 90s, you're going to have a wide range. So we have $1.65, $2.49, $22 plus $5.89 shipping. That's crazy. Okay. That's just somebody trying to take advantage of a new collector. Again, you can make your prices whatever you want, but realistically, you look at all these other cards, we're looking in the $1 to $2 range. This one looks like a good buy here at $1.19, but you have $6 shipping. So no thank you. For this card again, we'll go to sold items. And now let's see kind of what the true story is. So realistically, that $22 is nowhere near what the value of this card actually is. We're probably in the $1.25, $1.50 range for that card. Again, you have to use the sold items feature to find something. One thing I do want you guys to be careful of as you're going through, I'm going to pull out another card here, and we're going to go with another Topps Chrome. This one is, come on, this one is out of 199. So I always call this an aqua, but it's not an aqua. It's a blue. So when you pull up this and you scan this card, you're going to get a bunch of different variations. Sometimes with those reflective ones, it kind of confuses the camera system, and it's going to pull a bunch of different ones. Topps Chrome is pretty new, so they're also going to throw a bunch of them in there. So you got to know what you have. I know that my card is out of 199. I know that it is a blue. That is kind of what I should be looking for. This one here, not the other ones, because that is not my card. If I go to sold items again, it's going to pull up. And now I can see I have a couple different options here. Whoops, go back here. I have my aqua, okay? That's not what we have. The aqua is not numbered to 199. The aqua, I think, is 299, right? Let's see. Let's check it out. I'm pretty sure it's 299. Yep, 299. So we're out of 199. So we want to keep scrolling and find the one out of 199, and here we are right here. And they call this a true aqua, and that is out of 199. So that's the price point that I could be looking around. So just one so far has sold. This could be partly because this is out of 199, but also partly because it's off season and this guy's not a highly sought after player. Okay, so Cowboy fans, people collecting this player, that's who's going to be after this one, not your everyday person. Okay, so that's kind of where you have that variation and so many cards listed before you actually pull it out. We'll give you one more example. So for this example, we're going to go back. I'm going to search, and we got a laundry tag here. My camera is so out of focus. All right, so we got a Jonathan Taylor. We got a Jonathan Taylor Marshall Faulk Deja Vu, one of my favorite cards that I just got. This card I have is out of 50. So when I pulled up my search, it's giving me 199 out of 199 out of 199. I really need to be careful on what I'm looking at. Here's an out of 99. Okay, so let's say that I can't find out my out of 50. Okay. If I can't find my out of 50, I would value this card off of a couple different things. One, what is the nearest numbered card selling for? So this one's out of 99 for $27, $5.83 shipping. So we're looking at $32, $33 for out of 99. Mine would be worth more because it's out of 50. The other thing that plays a role in this is my card. If you remember my picture, I'll take it back here and show you. My picture of my card is also a laundry tag. So my patch on this card right here is an actual laundry tag. That you're not going to have another card that has that on there out of that 50. And then also you have two-toned on this side. So that's automatically gonna bump the value of this card just because those tags are sick. And then the other thing is, this is the number 1 card. So 1 out of 50. It was the very first print card of this, so that we call that the first one, where the other one would be your bookend. So 50 would be your bookend. Number 1 and the last card are always a higher value. So for me, I would go to my solds, and then I could go in there and see what this card has sold at. Now you see the difference between what we saw the last one. These ones aren't numbered, okay? So all of these guys are not numbered in there. We got a Peyton Manning, Anthony Richardson, that has a laundry tag, but it's not a numbered one. You see anything out of 50 for that. So we got to kind of go back to the drawing board and know that our last search feature pulled up a $32 value out of 99. Mine's going to be higher than that because it's out of 50, and then also because it has the laundry tag and the two-tone patch. So I would probably value this card probably closer to the $50 or $60 mark. So super easy, again, feature to use your camera, but remember, whatever you do, always look at the sold items. That's where people make the mistakes. If you don't look at your sold items, you're not seeing what the actual value of it is, because you can list the price for anything. I hope this helps. And that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you find the value of your cards. You just go onto the app, take a picture of it, and then search your sold items. But then you got to kind of weigh, if you don't have a bunch of sales, what's that item listed at? Don't go for the highest one. Again, anybody can list anything on eBay for any price. So I could say I have $1 million card, but it's not really $1 million card. It's what you can sell it for. The other things that you guys should be also aware of is when you have certain players or certain cards, you can get more value out of it based on where you are. So Vikings, Packers, Bears for our area in Iowa sell really well. Chiefs sell really well in Iowa. They sell great at card shows because more people are looking for those cards, which drives up the value a little bit. Iowa Hawkeye players, Iowa Cyclone players, those guys you can sell for a little bit more because there's more people looking for it. But if I was out in Idaho trying to sell Iowa Hawkeye cards, I wouldn't get anything out of it. It would be very low price because nobody's looking for it. So the demand for the product drops. Simple economics, my friend. Demand isn't there, you're not going to sell it. You got to bring that price down for it. So that's another little thing, a little tip in there for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it made sense. If you guys ever have any questions, don't forget, you can always ask. Whether it's me or another vendor or another person that sells cards, don't be afraid to ask questions. We all help each other out in the biz. If you have a ton of cards and you're like, I don't know what the value is and I'm not going to go in and take 1 million pictures, you can always send multiple pictures or pages out to somebody that can take a look at them for you. Just be prepared. If you're looking through your what you collected as a kid, especially that late 80s and 90s stuff during that junk wax era, don't be surprised if it's only worth a couple dollars. Even those Michael Jordan cards that were highly overproduced aren't going to be worth a ton of money right now just because there's so many of them out there. So prepare yourself for that. They're not all winning lottery tickets, okay? I hope you enjoyed this show. We'll come back to you guys next week, hopefully, with another great episode. If you guys have ideas of something that you want me to cover in one of my videos, drop it down, send me a message, and maybe we'll get to it. Thanks.